Welcome into the lounge presented by DraftKings. We are thrilled to sit down with wide receiver Zay Flowers. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you for having me.
So training camp is a time to work on the fundamentals, maybe try a few new things out in your game and all that stuff. So what touchdown celebrations are you working on right now? You workshopping some stuff or what?
Nah, I ain't really focused on celebrations right now. I'm doing the stuff to get the touchdown to do the celebration.
I like
That's
that.
what I'm doing right now.
That's a good answer.
I'll worry about those later, like closer to the game.
Okay, all right, that's a good answer. I did hear, actually, on this topic, though, that Jacoby Jones, that you might do his Chopper City kind of thing?
No, I'm going to keep that. I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay, all right, we'll see.
Keep it on the low. Yeah, keep that on the low.
All right.
Now, you had a franchise record for receptions last year. Expectations are high for you. Do you feel like in this offseason, has your preparation differed at all from last season to try and get to that extra level?
No, I've been doing the same thing, just staying in shape, running, working on my routes, just doing the stuff that I usually do. I'm do what I do. I'm not trying to be nobody else, so I know what I got to work on from last year, and I'm just going to stack on that.
Okay. Why do you think year 2 will be better for you? Like, what is it about this year, you think?
I feel like I understand the offense more, and I can see the game better. Like, it slowed down for me. I say, like, the last 5 games of the season last year, that's when it, like, really slowed down for me, and I was able to figure out, like, how to move and what I could do to get open, like, little things.
Yeah, is it this, like, the spacing, kind of knowing the defense better?
Yeah, because, like, I see it fast, so I feel like everybody moving as fast as me. So when I'm seeing it, it's moving fast, and then I make my move too early or something, and I get tackled. Then I be like, dang, I should have did this on film. But That's all I've been working on, like slowing the game down and just getting prepared for that.
How do you do that?
In practice, I let the defender get closer to me instead of making the move far away or something like that, or I break out later or take my time on the route, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Now, you mentioned a couple of days ago, one thing is you want to have more opportunities for some deep balls. Do you think having a player like Derrick Henry in the backfield might bring the defense just a little tight, and it might create some more opportunities for you guys to take shots?
I feel like no matter what Derrick Henry was at, you gotta like be down there, like focus on him a little bit. So I feel like it's gonna open us up a little bit more, like me, Bate, Nelly, the guys that's gonna help us out during the season. So I just feel like no matter where he's at, thank God he with us.
Right?
You gotta pay attention to him. And we got Lamar back there. And we got 2 tight ends that's real, like that can be all pro. And we got receivers that can go play.
Right. Now, you had 12 touchdown catches your last year at BC. Everybody knew the ball was going to you, yet you got in the red zone. You had a great rookie year, got in the zone 5 times. What's the key to raising that number, do you think, for yourself as far as getting more touchdown passes this next year?
I think I just got to lock in a little bit more on the little small details. And a lot of times I could have had a few more touchdowns if I would have just ran straight. So this year I'm focused on running straight and not moving side to side.
Were you doing that, making that adjustment, thinking that was going to maybe get you more open? Or?
Yeah, like I said before, like if I'm running straight, I see the defender before like he even get to like being close to me, and I make the move and like cut back. Like I had one versus the Texans where I caught like a little 5-yard hitch and I spitting out of it, and I could have just ran straight and scored, but I cut back because I like seen him. I felt like he was moving faster than what I thought. Okay. And then I had another one versus Detroit where I caught the over the middle and I could have just ran straight in the end zone, but I cut back. So just like stuff like that, just running straight and focus on like the small details, not doing too much.
It's kind of remembering that you're really fast too.
Yeah. I be underestimating my speed a lot.
What is it for you? Like would you say the biggest takeaway from your rookie season? What was like the biggest lesson learned for you that you're going to apply in year 2?
You gotta come out there and play every game. Like every game is like a playoff game for real. Like the first game is a little bit slower because everybody getting used to it. Like the first 3, but after that you gotta stay like you gotta be responsible. I say responsible, like dependable. You gotta be there. You gotta be on time. You gotta do everything you do to be on that field.
Right.
I would really say it's the off-field stuff that helped me stay on the field.
We've talked about your speed. Everybody knows how fast you are, but also your stamina, I've noticed. Like you practice, games, you're not one of those guys raising his hand coming out the game.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from, and do you do things to work on your stamina?
I mean, since I was younger, we ran around a lot. Like, I'm from Florida. Like, kid, we play murder ball. Oh, my bad. We play murder ball. Right. We do, like, stuff that we just run around all day. Basketball, we always playing a sport. So that was, like, that always helped me stay in shape. But now I run hills. I go run the beach. I do stuff that, like, make me tired. I ride the assault bike, so I'm always in shape.
Well, when we were walking down here, Zay said that practices, they've been doing a fair amount of running in practices so far as well. Yeah, can you explain to the listeners what's a little bit different this year?
I say we've been. I don't really want to put it out there, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been running.
They've been running.
Yeah, we working.
I mean, that is going to pay off for you guys. I mean, I feel like games are won and lost in the fourth quarter, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, and having that stamina like Cliff is talking about, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, like every morning we come in here and lift, run. Yeah. We run before we practice. We lift. So Coach Harbaugh wants us in top tier shape where we finishing through the fourth, where we can go play overtime if we needed to. So I think we're going to be prepared. Right.
Now, obviously, talking about finishing in the way last season ended, I think people kind of, forget how good a game you had in that AFC Championship.
Yeah.
Like you put up some numbers in that game, and obviously the last play, that one stings, right? Yeah. That one hurts. But I've always just thought that you're a guy that is so tough and resilient. Where does that resiliency come from for you to bounce back from something like that?
I mean, it's football. Like, I dealt with some real life stuff, so going through that, he made a good football play. Mm-hmm. I had a good football game that game, and it's two good players playing. Right. So I can't really, like, it's football. That was my first fumble of the year. That's the first time I dropped the ball like that, but I never really took it like that. I mean, I thought about it the first few days, but after that, when Lamar came and talked to me, it was dead after that. Like, I was good. I was ready to get back to work.
What was the next day like, and can you take us inside? When did Lamar come and talk to you, and what was that conversation like?
He texted me the same night. It was like, bro, don't let these people mess with you. You had a good game. We all made a mistake. We all played a role in that, and we're going to do this as a team. Like, we're going to take it as a team. Next year, we're going to be back and better. Right. Then next day, he came over. We just chilled, just talking about the game. The next day, he came over again, did the same thing. Then we both flew home.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I mean, what did that mean to you, for your quarterback, your guy?
I mean, it was more guys over there. It was like Sean Ryan, Malik, Tyler Huntley, Lamar was there, so Jadeveon Clowney came by.
To your place?
Yeah, they come by to my place a lot. Like last year, we hung out and just like bonded as a team like throughout the year.
Yeah. So what did that mean to you? Like, how important was that to have your teammates support in that way right after that?
I mean, it's a brotherhood, so you gonna always have each other back. And you don't want to see nobody, like, you going to look at the internet, like the internet there. They going to say stuff.
I would recommend against that,
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you going to look at it, though. Like,
it's impossible.
They going to tag you. They gonna, like, you going to see it. It's impossible. It's impossible unless you turn your phone off.
Right.
So, like, I mean, I go look at it, like, just to be like, all right, like.
Oh, you wanted it. You wanted
like, all right, like, I fumbled. Like, I got to take it. I fumbled, so. I wouldn't have looked at it. I wanted to see what people say. So I just took it as fuel.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that a couple people asked me, well, is this going to affect Zay? I was like, if you knew Zay and how tough he is, you wouldn't be asking me that question.
Yeah.
But one thing about that moment, too, after the game, Eric DeCosta was standing right behind you. Props to you for standing, facing the music, answering questions. Some guys won't do that. Even the next day you answer a question. What did you think about Eric DeCosta kind of having your back in the locker room, and did he say anything to you after you had finished or before you started answering questions?
I mean, it been like that since the first day, like, I got here. Since the first day they drafted me, he called me and let me know they was drafting me. So, like, coming here, I was always comfortable. I always knew the people around me was genuine. They had my back and stuff like that. So when he was standing behind me, it made me a little bit more comfortable to show that they had me. So that play, like, it made me more comfortable to answer those questions.
Mm-hmm. So what went through your mind when the schedule was released and Chiefs are week 1?
What you think? I'm trying to get my get back. And like, they let me try to get their first game, so let's go. Right. That's why I'm out here working every day. So
that smile of yours just says everything. It just says everything. I mean, that has to be a good feeling. Like, you're a guy that's driven to be one of the best, I mean, like, and there's an opportunity against the defending champions, against the team that you played. Like, hey, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yep.
Is that kind of the mentality you take into this summer preparation for that game?
Absolutely. Like, that's what it was last year. The two best teams met at the end, and we played.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it's going to be, the first game.
Yeah.
And we can start the season off with a bang. That's all I'm looking towards.
Do you set goals? Have a sheet where you write down some of your goals? Yards, whatever it is, touchdowns. Do you do that kind of thing?
No, I really keep it. I have it in my head already, like where I want to be. Like, I used to write them down and stuff, but you get lost throughout the season. It's a long season.
Yeah.
So I usually keep them in my head, my notes. But I do got some goals that I want to hit this year.
Okay. You check in on those every couple games or so?
I just wait till after the season.
After the season,
because you never know how you can do. Like,
right.
You go for 151 game, you go for 0 yards, you go for 180,
right.
You go for 70. Like, you never know how you're gonna do. So I just wait till the end of the season to see what it say.
I'm curious what it's like for you this year now with OBJ in Miami. You two, I know, spoke a lot. You had lockers right next to each other, and he was kind of like a mentor, big brotherish type, it seemed like, for you last year. What's it like now with him in Miami?
He just showed me how to like take care of other people and like take care of myself at the same time, take care of your body, and still like be a good person and still look out for everybody. Like, he was the one, like, he'll check on your mental, he'll see how you doing, or you can go have fun too. Like, you could do either one with him. So he just made you comfortable in that sense. Like, when I first came in, all right, I got Odell as my first like vet receiver. So it was like he was showing me like how to control everything and how to be on my stuff and still do what I want to do at the same time. Yeah.
Does it feel like now it's kind of, all right, even though you're still so young, how old are you, Zay?
23.
23, right. Yeah. Is it kind of like, all right, I'm spreading my wings, like,
Yeah, now I'm way more comfortable. Like, I'm way more comfortable in the building, I'm way more comfortable walking on the field, like, doing stuff. So now he just showed me like how to have a schedule. Him and Nelson Aguilar, they both showed me like how to have a schedule and how to carry yourself, how to take care of yourself, and still do what you do.
You've kind of continued a pipeline that keeps continuing with South Florida players and the Ravens.
Yeah.
Eddie Jackson, we talked to him for the first time a couple of days ago. Your name came up. He called you like his little cousin.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about the relationship you have with him?
Yeah, I knew Bojack since I was like, I don't know, since I can remember. Like,
Bojack?
since I can rember. That's what I call him.
Bojack.
Bojack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what we call him. That's what our family call him. But I knew him since since I could remember, because he was always with my brothers, always hanging at the house. And his big brother was actually a good football player, a great football player. And like, that's just that. Like, I've always been around him my whole life. He like close to being a big brother.
I know the football town down there is sick. Like, why do you think, though, that when you guys get to the league, you guys still seem like you have a bond? It's almost like a fraternity, the South Florida thing. What is it, if you could put into words, that makes you guys like that?
It's not as big as you think. Like, it's not as big as you think. It's small, so everybody know each other. Everybody want to see each other win, and we all know what you got to go through to see each other win. You got to go to a small school, or you go to a big school. Like, your family don't have everything you need. Like, we all around each other, so we all know each other. And it's just like Calvin Ridley, Jew, they all took me in as like a little brother. Like, I was working out during the summer with them a little bit. They talking to me, like, I see them around and we'll just chop it up. But they take care of each other. We all take care of each other.
It shows,
yeah.
Can you take us inside your off-season training a little bit? You said Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I was with a lot of people. Like, I was with Bojack. Yeah. And I was telling them to come sign with us. I'm like, bro,
recruiting,
a lot of picks. That D-line gonna get out there. Roquan gonna make the tackle, so you ain't gotta make a lot of tackles. We got Roar out there. Like, and he was just like, he laughing. And then woke up one day, I seen him sound like, I told you.
Get the agent fees right there.
I might have to get some.
Break you off
he gotta break me. You feel me?
That's awesome. And last one for me, just Lamar. What's your expectations for him after a second MVP season and the connection that you two have?
Lamar gonna do Lamar. Like, nobody ain't gonna move like him. Nobody ain't gonna like nobody can beat him. Like, he just come out and do it. Like, so that's all I'm expecting. Just be himself, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we all gonna do. Right. Come out, be ourselves, play, And I think that's going to be good enough.
Cool.
Yeah, cool for me.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Zay.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
joining us, man. We really appreciate it.
Always, thank
Thank you for listening to The Lounge. We are coming to you from the SeatGeek studio. We also want our listeners to know that this week, the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens, has a limited time offer you won't want to miss. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code FLOCK. New customers can get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code FLOCK. Please play responsibly, and for help, visit marylandgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. You must be 21 or older to play. So, Cliff, good stuff from Zay. Just, what are your expectations for him this season? He set a Ravens franchise rookie record, 858 receiving yards, I believe it was. And, what do you see from him now in year two?
Yeah, I expect him to surpass that and be better. 1,000 yards, kind of a magic number for receivers. Think he can exceed that. I think that a year under his belt, he's not only an electric player, he's pretty savvy for a young guy. And I think he's going to make some adjustments. People now are going to adjust try and take him away a little bit more. I think he's ready for that. And he's a great run after catch guy, very tough. And I think in this offense, with Derrick Henry in the backfield, is going to open up some things for all the wide receivers. And Zay being the leading wide receiver, I think he's going to benefit from that.
Yeah. He's no shrinking violet. He came onto the scene week 1 against the Houston Texans, and the guy had, I can't remember how many 10 plus targets, double-digit targets.
Right.
His first game in the NFL. He had a lot put on his plate. He led the Ravens in targets by a wide margin as a rookie.
Right.
That is rare.
It is.
That is very rare. So, I think just by sheer experience, he ran the gamut. He had some big games. He had some low moments, as we saw at the end. And I think that experience for such a young and especially talented player is going to really benefit him.
Yeah, he creates tremendous separation. At this level, you don't see a lot of wide receivers able to create the separation that he does on routes. And when he catches the ball, often he's got a 1 or 2 yard cushion, even on a short pass. I think he's going to take more advantage of that, too. He talked a little bit about the angles and sometimes not realizing that if he just took a straight line, that he could break a play.
When you have that good at juke moves, it's like you kind of hit the joystick all the time, right? You're just like, I can always juke this guy to create space, but sometimes
you don't need to.
The second defender would get him, right? He juked the first guy, but the second guy would get him.
Right. I think he has a better understanding that sometimes the simple play is the best play, and with his speed and the separation he create, if he just takes a straight line after he catches the ball, he'll make more yards. And I think the connection between he and Lamar was natural. It wasn't even forced. They worked. They got better as the season progressed, but in 2 of Zay's last 3 games, he went over 100 yards. I really thought if the season had gone 4 or 5 games longer, he would have started playing even better. Well, I think he's going to start from that kind of base this year, and I think he's going to be a really good receiver for a long time.
Yeah, there's no question that he's wide receiver 1 in this offense, and Rashad Bateman, the Ravens are expecting big things out of him as well, obviously. But Zay is the guy. And, now there's a lot of other weapons in this offense. I think it's going to be a fairly tight end centric passing game. Mark Andrews back and healthy. Isaiah Likely, as we've talked about, is a breakout. If you can even call him a breakout candidate after what he did last year, he could be a big time player for this team. Derrick Henry in the backfield. There's a lot of weapons, but I still think that Zay Flowers is going to be a guy who's top 20 in the league in targets, and possibly the Ravens leader. I think between he and Mark Andrews, it'll be close-ish, but probably more to Zay. So, this is a guy that I know everybody's excited about the other weapons, but don't forget about the weapon that Zay Flowers is. And now I think to your question about Derrick Henry being on the field, how much that alleviates the pressure on him to just be the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also one thing I should mention about Zay too, I think he's a guy that even though all wide receivers want the ball, he is willing to share and doesn't check out mentally when he's not getting the ball. There's going to be some games this year probably where Derrick Henry's eating. They want to run the ball.
Yep.
And a lot of wide receivers may not be seeing it that much. And then the 2 tight ends may be getting fed.
Yep.
During those stretches, Zay doesn't check out.
Yeah.
So that if he hasn't had the ball, in a quarter and a half, when you go back to him, he's still ready to run that route the right way, to make a big play. For a young player, sometimes guys have to learn that, especially when you're used to being the man. Seems like Zay has that. He knows he's part of the game plan, not the whole game plan, but his concentration and consistency stays at the same level.
I mean, he even mentioned that in our interview here. He's like, I don't know what my yardage is going to look like, because some games are going to have 100-some yards.
Right.
Some games that might have 0.
Right.
And like it speaks to his maturity level. Just broadly speaking, this Ravens wide receiver core, I think, what do you think of this group after here the first several days of training camp? Do you feel like they have enough in this room? Do you feel like they need to make an addition still? What's your take?
Well, I think Rashad Bateman has looked really good early in training camp, which is a positive sign. There's been so much talk this offseason about what he can and what he may do. So far, so good. I think Isaiah Likely, is kind of like, a wide receiver, even though he's listed as a tight end. So I kind of almost add him to the group. To answer your question, do I think they have enough? Yes. The Ravens are always looking to get better at every position. But if they stay healthy, and Devontae Walker's kind of like the X factor. Like, if he contributes this year, along with Nelson Aguilar and of course Zay and Rashad, they've got more than enough. I think that the weapons here this year, and again, I'm including Henry in the group because to me he's such an important addition. I think they have enough weapons. I mean, we have to hope they stay healthy. I think they do need someone, whether it's Bateman, Aguilar, to balance kind of what Zay's going to do as a wide receiver. But yes, I do feel they have enough.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, make sure that you're subscribed. Leave a rating and review on the pod here. Make sure you're also subscribed to the Ravens Press Pass podcast. You can find all the press conferences there throughout training camp as we continue to have them. We're going to be back. Garrett and I are going to be back to break down. Cliff, thank you for stepping in for Garrett, by the way. Garrett and I will be back to break down what we've thought from the first week of Ravens training camp practices. So make sure you check it back for that later in the week. Thanks for listening and for watching.